Hey everyone, welcome to Palm Valley Production. Today what we're going to be looking at is a recent training session that we did for some of our staff and some of our interns as we walk through what it looks like to use ProPresenter 7. ProPresenter 7 is a program that we utilize here at Palm Valley Church, but also many other churches use to display media at their weekend services. It displays all types of media, whether it's images or videos or audio, it does it all. What we're going to be specifically looking at today is how to create a presentation, how to make edits to that presentation, but also specifically how we utilize it here at the Goodyear Campus of Palm Valley Church. It was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to checking it out. Let's see it.
All right, well, welcome to ProPresenter. This is it. If you can't see it that well, we're good? We're okay? Okay. Cool. Hopefully this is after working. Is it working? Oops. I guess we'll see. I don't know how to, oh yeah, it is, it shows right there. Okay, cool. Sweet. ProPresenter, we're gonna go left to right. I'm gonna go a little bit quickly. As you have questions, stop me, and then we'll kind of pause and then we'll talk through it a little bit. ProPresenter, the best way to think of it is PowerPoint on steroids. That's basically what it is. There's a bit more to it for sure, but it's slides that you click, and when you click them, they fire and they display to a screen. So, boom. Right now, I don't have it set up so it's going to display to a screen on an output. It's just mirroring my display. That way you guys can see what I'm doing, but later on we'll switch it so that you won't see this on these screens. It will initially appear black, and then as you click different things, you'll see some of the stuff start popping up onto the screens. And that's basically what you would see in service. So look to right, we've got our search button right here. We've got two options for searches. You can search through the library, which is all the songs that are currently inputted and made ready within our library. You can see these are our libraries right here. So if you hit search, we can search for any song that we've done here. So, song. Nothing fire. Look at that. We could do like, okay, Waymaker even, so I could just type that. Sorry, I'm not the best typer. Waymaker. There's different versions of it that I have in here. You can pull this up, open it, and then it'll display it right here, and we'll be able to see all the slides. Okay. That's a really quick way to find songs. If you also want to find songs, you could just click on the library. Typically, the one that we use here in Goodyear is PVC Goodyear. I have online as a backup and for some other stuff. In Buckeye, I'm not sure what it's labeled as, but the principle is the same. You'll see it labeled under library in this orange icon. So you can come in here, let's say random thing on the weekend, Gabe's like, hey, we're gonna cut that song, we're gonna do this other song instead. Go find it, put it in ProPresenter right now, which he could very well do. That's where you would look for it, is in the library. So it's like, okay, let's go to library, let's look in here, and then we'll just boom, throw it in, and then we're gonna throw it in to our playlist. These are where our playlists are right now. I have one created right now. This is my service elements playlist. So each week when I make the playlist for the weekend, I will literally copy and paste all of these elements into a new playlist, so that way I don't have to go and compile all of them again. So it just saves me a little bit of time. There's a little bit of tricks that you can learn as you do ProPresenter more that are gonna make your work a little bit more efficient in your time, which helps a lot. So like now, I'm at the point, when I first started doing Pro 7 or just ProPresenter in general, it would take me a while to do. After time, and you get more familiar with it, you just learn the ins and outs of it, it shouldn't take you long at all. Like usually for young adults, the past couple times I've forgotten to put the playlist together before Wednesday, and then I'll get it done within an hour, like for that night, and it's not difficult at all. Partly because we're utilizing songs that we already do, or if we're making new songs, I have tricks to make it go a little bit quicker than doing it all from scratch. So I'm gonna go back to the search button really quick. Search, so we've got our library. We also have SongSelect right here. SongSelect works with our CCLI. Are you guys familiar with CCLI, Zach or Gabe told you guys about that?
We report, right?
Yeah. So we have a license with CCLI And so every week we report what songs we use, but it also protects us. It's like a legal thing for copyright. So if we want to use a song, because we paid this license, or we pay for this license, we're able to use all these songs within the CCLI repository. So with SongSelect, we utilize our license to pull from that library quickly rather than having to input new songs from scratch, which saves a lot of time. So let's think of a song that we don't do. Gosh, I can't type. Champion. Boom. It's right here. I'm going to hit import. Oh, Zach got his lunch. Thanks, man. Cool. If you guys, yeah, if you guys want to start eating right now, you're welcome to, because I'm going to be talking to this, and then it'll be a little bit before we actually get hands-on with stuff. So, yeah. Okay. Cool.
Two other pieces of pizza.
Cool.
My hands are washed.
You're
Cool. So we just searched champion in SongSelect. It came up right here. I hit import, and it allows me to import it directly into ProPresenter. And then now, this is the song right here broken down. We have to adjust it and make some changes to it to make it work for what we're going to do for the weekend. But this is it. So instead of having to go in and type all the lyrics for the song, it's already done. So the hardest part of it is over. Now you just have to create an arrangement for it, make it look pretty, and in line with whatever we have on Planning Center. I'll say this too. It's really important that Planning Center is accurate and up to date whenever I put this together. And that's where sometimes tension will come from, whether it's between me and Zach or me and Gabe or whatever, because it happens. Like, it's just the nature of it. Because the nature of things is that things change and you just got to accept it and get over it. But if things are not up to date, then I'll put something together according to what's in Planning Center. And then when we come to rehearsal or wherever, they'll be like, hey, the lyrics are wrong. No, they're not. I did it according to what was given to me. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So, and that's why it's important to have those things up to date. Again, sometimes things change. You can't really help it. When you are proficient in ProPresenter, though, those changes aren't that big of a deal because you can make them pretty quickly. However, when I was first learning this and we had changes, it was more stressful because I was like, I'm still learning how to use this new version. So very worthwhile to all be on the same page. Yeah. I'm going to delete this one because we just imported it. We don't need it. Down here, you'll see displayed whatever you have selected up here, whether it's a library or a playlist. So if I select the PVC Goodyear library, it'll show all the presentations for that within that library. If I select this playlist, it'll show all the presentations within a playlist. Presentation is like the term that we're going to use for any of these songs. Okay, so a presentation could be a service element, so it could be like the 5-minute countdown or pre-service announcement loop. It's a song. It could be a spiritual direction. Literally, it could be anything that we want it to be. But the term is called a presentation. So that's what we're going to be going through today, is how to make a new presentation and make edits to it. And we'll get to that in a little bit. Up here, we have our text. So you can change the different typeface or font that you want to use, a little bit more of the parameters for that. I don't use that a whole lot, so we just avoid that. This called theme. Often, theme is for a presentation or a slide. If I want it all to have a similar look, I can come in here and apply a template or theme to it, and it'll adjust all the lyrics, all the slides within a presentation to have a specific look. This is how we get things prepped for the weekend for side screens or for the center screen. So for instance, let's say we're doing See the Light. We're going to do the Spanish version right here. Or let's not do that. Let's do Great Are You, Lord. We did that recently. Boop. So if I select Great Are You Lord, come up to theme. I'm going to go to PVC Online, and then, because these are the ones that we've been using the most, PVC Online, I'm going to go to iMag L3. I'll explain what that means later. Boom. Do you see how it just changed these? Here, I'll boost them up a little bit. To increase the size of slides, it's going to be this little thing down here, yeah. So I'm going to select it, theme. Let's say I'm using the Spanish version, but we don't see any Spanish displayed here on these slides. And that's because the iMag L3 theme that I selected crops it out. And so the way it actually looks is like this.
Right.
So there's a second line with Spanish there. When I switch the theme, though, what it does is it shifts it down, and then it crops out that second line, so it only displays English. We would do this for the 8 o'clock and the 9:30 services here in Goodyear. And then the 11 o'clock service, we would switch it to Spanish. That way we can have it ready for our Spanish service. But that's themes. Next we have our tabs. This will affect our look here in the center. Show is the default look or the default tab. This is the one that's going to show you the slides within a presentation on the most basic form. This is basically what ProPresenter is going to look like on a weekend as people are operating it. The way it works is you would click a slide. That slide fires. Here, I'm going to put it here. The slide fires. Whatever is selected orange is currently being displayed. So I just clicked this. It was orange. It has an automatic advance setting on it right now, so that's why it automatically goes to the next slide. But this is currently what's live. So this is what would be displaying to our audience right now. If I click the next slide and that's orange, you can see the lyrics start to pop up. Whatever I have selected in orange, that means, again, it's live. If you want to select a slide but not fire it, you can hold a command button, or if it's on a PC, you'd hold control. You can click, it'll highlight it in blue. You can select multiple at a time. With this, you can hit delete to delete slides. You can move them around, kind of thing. But yeah, that's the gist of that. Any questions so far? No? The way, I'll get to that in a sec. Yeah, so that's presentation slide, or our presentation show tab. Next is our edit tab. This is what we're going to be working on a little bit more today as well. Our edit tab is, it's just the way that we can edit slides. So if I wanted to come in here and give this slide a certain look, or to adjust this text, I could come in here. I can click in this text box. Very much, this reminds me more of PowerPoint right here. So on PowerPoint, you know how you can adjust your different slides? Mm-hmm. It literally looks like this. Yeah. So this is basically what you would do to make adjustments. You can come in here, you can type whatever you want. You can change the font style, you can change the font size, the color. You can add some different effects on there. You can even throw in different shapes or media. If you had like a picture or a video that you wanted to throw in, you can throw those in these slides as well. Yeah.
Excuse me, brother. So the only thing you can't change though is the words, like the lyrics, correct? Because of the CCLI?
You can. You technically can.
I heard we weren't supposed to. That's all I'm asking.
We're not supposed to, but we do all the time. Yeah, like, or not all the time, but a lot of the times we will change things up a little bit. Like when we did Champion last time, we changed up the lyrics to it. Yeah, so we can come in here. That's the cool thing about Editor. We have the ability to do it. Should we for songs that have CCLI? Probably not. I think we could technically get into legal trouble. We've been doing this stuff for years and we've never gotten in trouble. That doesn't make it right, but that's the reality.
Hey man, I'm
Yeah.
asking, dog. Just listen what I do when I'm
Yeah.
doing joke.
This comes into play though, Editor, when let's say we're doing a special element and we want to combine songs. We could make one presentation. So instead of it, like a lot of times we'll do a medley or an arrangement of a song where it'll be like, okay, I want it to be Great Are You Lord, going into What a Beautiful Name, into Glorious Day, into Ever Be, whatever.
That's a nice melody.
Yeah, we could make it so that each of them are separate in a new presentation and just call it like a medley. I think I have one that's actually like a medley. Hold on, let me look. We did a medley not long ago where
It's like save, I need to save them just in case.
yeah, 20-year medley. I'll pull that up real quick.
Jared wants me to take like photos of videos.
Oof.
Don't be alarmed by me taking photos and videos of you.
Okay.
Yeah, photos and videos
Make
of
me look pretty.
stuffing our face with pizza.
Gosh. Yeah, this is gonna look terrible.
I'm done eating.
Okay, so yeah, with the editor though, so this is the medley that we did for the 20-year anniversary. I could come in here and change things up, or like we did the Disney medley not long ago. We came in here, we changed the lyrics to make it match what the songs were, but then we also changed the font style of it to be stylized for what we were doing that weekend. Like I said, there's lots of options. I'm not going to get so deep into editor today. I probably actually won't. I would much rather you guys play with it and see what you can do with it. That's the best way that you can learn how to do ProPresenter is going to be by you getting in there and really testing the limits and saying, okay, what can it do? What could I do if I wanted to do something for a service? That's the only way you'll ever actually be able to get a good comprehension of everything, because then you'll be able to find, okay, this does this, whatever. Yeah. I'll show you the basics, but from there, it's kind of up to you to like, all right, what else do I want to learn? Unless, I mean, if Gabe or Zach ask you to do something, or I or Jared, that's going to be helpful too to figure stuff out. But yeah, that's editor. Then we also have our Reflow editor. So let's say you don't want to adjust the settings for fonts, you just want to adjust the lyrics or the words themselves. That's where you would go to Reflow editor. Reflow editor is literally just the words for each slide.
Reflow editor again? Where is it?
So you see these tabs up here?
Yes, sir.
There is show,
Oh,
which is, yeah, and then there's edit, which is the one we were just talking about. Reflow is going to be the one that you can actually adjust the different lyrics. So this is the one I probably use the most besides show, because this will give me quick access to editing the lyrics for an arrangement or for songs. I don't do editor so much because there's not a whole lot extra that we add to slides here at Palm Valley for the weekend. We could, if we wanted to be a lot more creative with stuff, it just make it a little bit more complex. For what we do, this works really, really well. We'll just do Reflow, and then we'll come in here and just adjust all of these. We'll come back to this later too. We're gonna, yeah, when we make a presentation, we'll practice through some of these different options. There are some more tabs here. We're not really gonna get into them a whole lot, but I'll just run through them really quick. There's the Bible tab. We don't use this at Palm Valley, but the Bible tab basically is you can go in. It has like an online or built-in Bibles that you can grab and get. So that way, let's say Ryan was like, hey, you know what? Let's look at this verse really quick because this really speaks to the point I'm talking about. But he didn't plan that. We could literally look it up right here and be like, all right, Bibles, let's go through this and pull something up and then blah, 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 blah. James 1:10. You know what I'm saying? The reason why we don't use this a whole lot here at Palm Valley is because most of our communicators or speakers or pastors or whatever, they come very prepared for their messages. And so we don't have to worry a whole lot about, oh, where are they going next? Sometimes we do, but it's usually not, it's not the norm. It's an exception, but it's also not very drastic. So the most that Ryan will do, or anybody that preaches typically that goes off the rails, they'll just do things out of order, but it's not like they'll pull up a random verse or be like, I'm going to go into this story real quick and I'm going to connect it to this verse. We just don't have that style of preaching, but other churches do, and that's why the Bible tab comes in handy for them, because they're like Stephen Furtick will do that a lot sometimes. We'll be like, pull up that verse on the screen right now, and they're like, oh,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe they weren't planning it.
Lot spontaneous stuff.
Yeah,
Got you.
which is really, really cool, and it's cool that it has that functionality. It's just not something that we use a whole lot here at Palm Valley. In the More tab, there are more tabs that we can go to. There is Stage Editor, Stage Editor grants you access to make changes to what you want the confidence monitor to look like. So we have different looks. I don't know if you guys have noticed that on the weekend when you've played or sing. But like this is typically what the confidence monitor will look like for you guys during a song. This is what it looks like for, what is this? The message. So it'll have like the message timer. We can have a little stage message if we wanted to send something from front of house to whoever's communicating on stage as a clock displayed. And then most of them are very similar to that as well, but they have different timers inputted. So that way we can keep the service going on track according to different times that we have for each portion of service. Because for the message, let's say, this timer, it has this random number on it because it's just a default like placeholder. But for the message, typically our messages are about 25 minutes, but our live closing is like 5. So we can't use the same countdown timer, which we'll get to when we get to timers. We have to have separate setups for that. So like I said, we'll get into that. It gets a little bit complicated sometimes. That's Stage Editor. Theme Editor is what we were talking about before. So if I wanted to change the look of how we do our lyrics, whether it's with Spanish or how it's actually going to be displayed on the screens, I'd come into Theme Editor, and this makes Theme Editor is like one of my best friends, or just themes. It saves a lot of time for a lot of the things that we do. But yeah, so you can make adjustments there. There's the CCLI editor. So I don't know if you guys have noticed too, whenever we start a song, you'll see on the side screens, we'll usually have the little CCLI licensing on the bottom left of the screen. We can change how it looks right here. So if we wanted it to be larger font, or if we wanted it to be a different font, we could all change that right here. We've got our props and our mask editor. I'm not going to get into those so much. We'll leave it for another time. Next, we've got our timers. So I'm going to go back to show. I'm going to clear this. Timers, this is what I was talking about earlier. These are all the different timers that we have for a service. It's broken up by how we do things in Planning Center. So let me pull up Planning Center. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so welcome and spiritual direction. We have 5 minutes allotted for that in service. So when I come over here, I'm going to come to welcome and greet, 5 minutes. For the message, we've got 10 minutes right here, and that's because we come over here for this past weekend. The way that we did it, there was a message opening, there was the video message, and then there was the service close. So Ryan, he opened up the message, we went into the video, and then he came back out and he closed the message. In Planning or ProPresenter, that's also how we have it allotted. The message timer was set for 10. Video 2, I believe, was set to the message video timer, and then the live closing was also set to 10. So the times that we have in here correlate with what we have in Planning Center so that we can keep it at the time that we have planned. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. That's timers. We've got messages. We don't use that. We don't use props. We don't use these two very much, messages or props. They are helpful. I need to figure out more how to set those up for what we do. Props, for instance, I think we would use this more for, let's say we have a child that's acting up or is having issues in one of the rooms, and then one of the children's directors or leaders comes over and they're like, hey, we need to find their parents. Can you please throw up a message on the screen so that they can go and get their kid? We would come over here and we would...
I was here one Sunday when you did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. So, so this is how we would do that. We would come in here, we would make edits to these different slides to say what they need to say, and then in service, we could throw them up and then they'll display. Of course, I haven't set those up, so that's why we don't use that. And thank God we've not had to use that, because I don't have that set up. I need to, though. And then there is our stage message. Stage message is what we can use if we need to send a message to whoever's on stage from front of house discreetly. So let's say Mark is doing welcome and greet and he's going way over time. and for some reason, like maybe the timer's not working or he's just oblivious, I don't know what's going on. I can send a stage message to him that says, like, get off the stage, or please hurry up, or like, dude, we only have 5 minutes left in service and we're still in the welcome and greet. What are you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? I can literally send that here, and then it will display onto the confidence monitors for him to see. I'm pretty sure I can send that by adjusting my stage editor. I can also do that for you guys as you're singing, but I don't really need to because we have the talkback mic.
You guys are
And
off
so,
key.
yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's stage. We've got store and media. We don't use store because we don't really need anything more than what we've got. Media, when you click this, it'll bring up this little window down here. This is where we keep our media. Yeah, so anything that we need for a given service typically will be inputted down here, and then we can then select it and drag it into different spots in our service or in our presentations. It makes it super simple, super easy. For instance, the way I have it set up down here, I have our service media. So anything that I'm going to be using for the service, just general things, I'll put into this folder. Anything that's particularly for the message, like the message video from this weekend, I'll put in the message media. The pre-service loop is going to have all the slides that we put at the beginning that just kind of go on a loop. We've got all our lyric backgrounds. This is dated for November 8th weekend. So I can, let's say for some reason, we're doing Cornerstone, What a Beautiful Name, and it looks like this where the question mark pops up. If I click that, it's not going to display anything because it's missing the media there. So if that's the case, I could come down here, grab what is in here, and throw it in. And now it works. I don't need to do that right now, though. Same thing, I've got it for the next weekend. So this is what we're going to be using for this week, for November 15th. And then when I do young adults, I'll do another one for young adult lyric backgrounds. I use my laptop to make the playlist for the weekend for here in Goodyear and for online. So I have a lot more of these than an average one or an average computer that we would use would, just because this is like the one that I craft them on. That one probably won't have as many. It should have some of them though. I don't know what it looks like in Buckeye a whole lot. I think it'll be worthwhile at some point when Jared's available that maybe we can have a training where we have a Buckeye laptop set up and then we have the Goodyear one, and you guys can see the differences, because even though the principles are the same, we can utilize them differently according to our campus. And that's going to be really important to understand too. Like my style of how I do ProPresenter is different than Jared's style or Dylan's style. It all works. It's really great. And that's the cool thing, because there's multiple ways to do the same thing. It ultimately comes down to what is clear and makes sense and understandable for you, but also for whoever you're going to have operating it. Right. So both of us try to think in mind, or keep in mind, how can we set this up in a way where a volunteer couldn't mess it up? Which is like cynical, but like, yeah, like, well, but that's, yeah, it happens for sure. And that's where we have grace for sure. But we want to try to go into it intentionally, trying to make it as simple and clear as possible. So that way, when they're referencing Planning Center, as they ask questions or as they just look at it, they can see, okay, this is pretty simple. This makes sense. They could just plug along and follow it. ProPresenter typically will be one of the first places that I'll put a new volunteer, because I want them to understand how does our service work. But I also want to give them an understanding of like, hey, it is technical, but it's not that hard. Because it's pretty easy to train someone. If we set it up simply enough for them, it's pretty easy for them to just click a button or use the mouse to follow along. Some people do better at it than others, but it is a great place to start. Yeah, at least just for operating on the weekend. Crafting it's another thing, but again, it's not that difficult. It just takes some time to understand it a little bit more. But that's the media tab. Now we're here on the right side. Right side, we have our viewer. So anything that you click over here, you'll be able to view in this window right here. We can change the view with this little down menu. You can see these are the different displays that we're sending to. The way that ProPresenter 7 works, this might be a little bit complicated to explain right now. At some point, we'll talk about it when we're up on the PC, because that's the best place to talk about it. ProPresenter 7 is like the master control, and it sends a bunch of different outputs everywhere at once. And so right now, it's doing like one output, and that's to the TV. That's it. The computer that we have up there, and even these laptops, if we got different hardware for it, we have the capability to send to a bunch of different things. And that's how we're able to do the weekend, for instance, because we can send it to the side screens, we send it to the center, we send it to the confidence monitors, and then we send it to our video software so that we can do it for like online stuff. And so that's like 5 to 6 outputs from ProPresenter. And like I said, that's something that'll be better understood when we're up there, and you can actually see what that looks like. So like these different audience views are part of our outputs. So if I wanted to see what does it look like going to Pro Key, that's basically what it would look like. Pro Center, this is what it would look like. Desk is just right here. And then we have our stage views as well. So if I wanted to do the stage screen, this is what it would look like on the confidence monitor on stage for you guys. At front of house, I have this one called Pro Multiview, and it gives me all the different views of how we're displaying everywhere. So this is, and this is one that I set up, but was also like in the ProPresenter tutorials. They show you how to set this up, which is really, really cool. It's very helpful. That way, as I'm crafting things, I can see, okay, how is this going to look on the center screen, the side screens, and my key, but also the confidence monitor all at the same time. It just makes it a little bit easier. For instance, let's say I'm on one of these slides, and there's too many words in it to the point where it looks fine here, but on the center screen, it's cutting off the words. You know what I'm saying? How do I lower this? Yeah, so we don't, I don't know, it just helps me to view everything, and it does it in a lower res version, so it's not going to make my computer explode either. Yeah. Questions so far?
I understand, like, this is definitely a lot of detail, a lot of information.
Yeah.
And we're learning it to eventually, be able to help out in this area.
Mm-hmm.
The main way that we're going to use it is basically like in lyrics, right? Because we're not going to be really doing presentations or anything like that.
Correct.
Right? So it's basically this. This is what we would be learning to do to, like if you needed to input a new song, like, hey Anna, I need you to enter this on ProPresenter. And then, so I'm starting clean slate in front of the computer, whatever. And what would be my first, like where do I start? Because obviously for me right now, like there's a lot of things that I can do with this. How do you're starting clean, where do you start? What is like fresh start?
Yeah.
You're here, now I'm gonna copy the lyrics and then go from there. Like what would be my very first step?
Yeah. We will, let me cover one more thing, and we'll get to that, because that's going to come with making a new presentation. I want to walk you guys through that.
All right, gotcha.
Yeah. Cool. Last thing to talk through, and then we'll get to that, is I kind of talking through how does ProPresenter function. ProPresenter, it works in a layered way. And so you see all these different icons that are right here along the side. These are the different media layers that we can use for different slides. So if we click one slide, let's say this, you can see it pops up this, this is a slide layer. So you'll see all the text that we have pops up on this slide layer, but that's it. There's no other media there, and that's why it's kind of blacked out, because there's nothing else in the background. There's no videos, there's no images. That's it. Oh, there's no music either. So if we wanted to put it, like, let's say we're gonna do the Are You OK bumper. There's media in the background. So now it's showing this media layer. It also has this little, it has the slide one up too. It's like an empty text box that's on there. On the weekend, basically, the reason why this is important, we can hit clear all to stop whatever's playing. But if we stop that, it stops everything. Sometimes we only want to do one specific thing, or we want to stop one specific thing. So let's go to a song, for instance. Let's go back to Great Are You, Lord. So we're playing the song, we're going here. Let's say we accidentally hit the wrong slide, or we find that there's a mess up or a typo or something and we need to fix it really quick. Instead of hitting clear all and making the screen go to black, we would keep it going and we would just hit clear slide and it'll keep the background going. Does that make sense? You guys understand that? No? Yeah, okay. You're good. So it clears specific layers. So like I said, it works in layers. So if this is backgrounds, lyrics, there's props and slides and audio and all that. Depending on what you click here on the side, it will remove those things individually and leaving the other ones. So it just makes it a little bit more specified. That way you can be a little bit, it just gives you a little bit more
Instead of doing all of it
at once.
I got you.
Yeah. Sometimes the clear all button comes in handy for sure, but a lot of times on the weekend, for the sake of it being smooth and distraction free, we don't want to hit clear all because that'll be a very obvious, like, oh, something just happened because now the screen's black.
Oh, I got you.
So
So then you would have left like just the background, but like you mentioned, you would have deleted the lyrics?
I would have cleared the slides, and it doesn't delete them, it just removes them from the display. So they're still there, but now that they're not displayed, I can come in here and I can make edits. So while this is still playing, I could be like, okay, that was a typo. Let's go to Reflow really quick and just fix that to R instead of whatever it was. And then we can just go back to show, boom, display it again. No one is the wiser. And so, and that's the cool thing about ProPresenter or just production in general. When there's an issue on the weekend, we try to handle it with as much like tact and just being discreet, because we don't want to distract everybody from what's going on. We want them to, like I said, our mission is to create an experience that ushers people into God's presence. And if we are taking away from that experience by creating more distractions than the issues that are already happening, we are going to it's possible for us to take away from people's experience, and then they're distracted from what we're trying to communicate to them, the gospel and the truth of whatever we're talking about that weekend. And so, yeah, that's. It doesn't have to be perfect, and weekends are hardly ever perfect, but as long as we can keep it smooth and distraction-free, we call that a successful weekend, because then we know that we didn't take away from the experience. Even if something went wrong, hopefully people were focused on Christ and just giving him some glory. So,
I have a question.
yeah.
Is there a way that you can, so like you said, instead of trying to be like discreet and do it quickly while it's still up on the screen and we can see it, you can't do it discreetly like from the laptop, from the computer back there, and then it comes up on the screen to where it's not like, they don't see any changes until you change it from back there. You know what I mean? So like everything up here stays the same and it's going, the server's going, but you see something needs to be fixed real quick. Like you can't just like press like a window on there and then like fix it from the computer in the back, and then when it's totally fixed, it just automatically changes up there without you having to like, change it in front of everybody. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I'll show you what it looks like in just a sec here. Or let me show you right now. We're gonna move towards the presentation, like
okay.
crafting thing right now. No, it's good.
I keep thinking that.
It's gonna change the way that we look at this because, like I said, we don't ever see this on the weekend on the side screens because we just don't. Like that's, if we want to make changes, no one's ever gonna see this.
Okay.
They'll only ever see that.
Yeah.
So let me change the display real quick. Cool. Boom. All right. You see the screen just turned black?
Yep.
So really quick, let me talk through that. These are our on-off buttons for our displays. So if we see that this is ever red, that's a bad thing, audience or stage. Because we want it to be green, that means it's actually sending the feed. It's black right now because we don't have anything fired or queued up, but if we have something going, it'll display. But again, if we have it off, that's what it's gonna look like, or it'll just look black. The stage, we're not gonna be able to see the stage one right now unless I'll just put it on Pro Multiview. So this is what our stage display looks like right now for the confidence monitor. But it's not sending anywhere because, like I said, we only have one output right now, and that's to the TV. So we can see this here. So really quick to answer your question, let's say we noticed there was an issue on this slide. Let's just create one real quick. You give like. That's not life. We got to fix that. So what we could do is we could clear the slide, come in here. We could go to Reflow and just, yeah. So like on the screen, there's not words for them to sing right now, so that's a little bit distracting. But what's more distracting? To just take off the words for a second and leave the background, or to clear the whole thing and make it look black? Yeah. So
this has something to look at with the, yeah.
So you could also do it this way where it's, let's say it's wrong. You could do quick edit. Quick edit is going to be a right click on the slide.
Oh, okay.
Quick edit.
I know quick edit.
It'll pop up right here. Let me see if I can increase the size. It'll increase the size, and then you could just come in here and make a quick little change.
Oh, that's dope. Okay. They will never see you doing all that, what you just did.
It's going to look exactly like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That was my question. Thank you.
Yeah, any changes that we make on the weekend to this, they'll never be able to see unless we fire it, unless we make it live. But we can only make it live after we're done making those changes. So it's not like if I'm making the edit right here, they're not going to see me typing what I'm doing. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So,
Thank you.
yeah. Cool. I did too. It comes in handy a lot, especially when you're in the middle of a song. Instead of like, okay, let's go to the edit button and come in here. Yeah, actually that one I just need to fix too. You give hope. Cool. All right, so now let's work through what it looks like to make a presentation. I'm going to create a new library real quick so we can work off of that. And then I'm going to make a new playlist. Cool. All right. We're going to take turns here, but we're going to have one person here, one person over there. We'll go through it a little bit, and then we'll switch. Cool. Zeth, for now, I'm not going to have you do it. I'm just going to have them do it, and then I can work with you on it another time because I think you're a bit more familiar with this than everybody else. Cool. Who wants up first?
I was checking your signature.
Cool. Oh, nice. Cool. All right, Eduardo, I want you over here. Anna, I want you right here. And then we'll switch here in just a sec.
Perfect.
If you want, do you want a chair? Sure.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh man. That's a good.
I was taking a boomerang. Look at you, looking straight at the camera.
Oh, I didn't mean to.
I was taking pictures, and in the background, Warda was just eating pizza with his mouth wide open. Purposely. Look at
Gosh. Cool.
Training. That's
Yep.
what we're doing.
Alrighty. Cool. So we're gonna make a presentation really quick. I'm gonna show you guys a few different ways to do it. The most common ways that you'll probably be making a presentation. We're gonna do it completely from scratch first. So what we're gonna do is go to, so you see where the library is on the left with the little orange icons? There's a little plus button to the right. So like right there.
Where did you say to? In the,
It's right there, the little plus button.
okay, the library.
Yeah.
Do I click on it?
And go ahead and hit new presentation.
New presentation. So this is, okay, so this would be, okay.
Yep. And then once you open up that new presentation, let's title it training. Do you want me to increase the sizing of the screen? It's a little bit far away.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's one. I'm like, where is library? What are you talking about?
Cool. Yeah.
Okay, so
Who said that? Stop it, Celine. She needs to drink some water. All right. Cool. So you both have a new presentation open, correct? Perfect. Sweet. It should have an empty slide in there. So we are going to make a new presentation completely from scratch. So let's just, we're going to do it through Editor. So let's go ahead and move to the Editor tab.
editor tab.
Yep. Boom. Go ahead and click within the text window right there. You may have to double click it.
Like in here?
Cool. And go ahead and type a message. It could be anything. Let's do, how about welcome to Palm Valley Church? Let's do that. Perfect. All right, cool. So now let's go ahead and just click outside of the text box. And that'll deselect that. So now you just type the message. Let's go ahead and click the text box again, but don't double click it, just select it. There you go. Let's go ahead and change the font of it. So we're gonna go to the right. We're gonna go up to the tab that says text. And then within there should be different drop-down menus to give you options to change the different font. You can change the sizing. Go ahead and play with that real quick and just have fun with it. I'm gonna grab this really quick too.
How are we feeling?
I'm pretty good.
How are we feeling?
Yeah, I'm liking it.
Did you get that from David Cole, Torch?
Huh?
That's what he said. He says Torch.
David Cole says that?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Didn't
just
say it as a kid.
I just like to mess around with it because a lot of places, like Hillsong's like, hello, church. Song in Australia. We'll mess around. That's how I said it.
All right, how's it feeling?
That's actually a nice phone. I like that.
We're having too much fun over there. Split up.
Do you want to increase the size of the font?
Yeah, okay, so then
Is that the racist to say that? Oriental?
this right here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who you talking to?
I heard it.
So hitting that down arrow is going to make it smaller and the up one's going to make it bigger. There you go.
Say whatever you want. It is racist, though.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Do you, David, so do you want what do you want the font size to be? Always?
It could be anything. For right now, it can be anything that you want. We're just testing it. I don't have a typical size that I use all the time because I'll put it on a theme instead.
A theme? Okay,
Yeah,
that's right.
I'll apply a theme to it, and that has whatever setting. I don't remember it all the time because I never have to set it. I just set it to that, and it's like a template. Cool. All right, so now let's go ahead and create another slide within Editor. So you're going to go to the left. So not that big plus button, but the one right to the left of it, the little tiny one. Yeah. And then go ahead and hit New Slide. It'll give you a new slide. In this slide, let's go ahead and put, thank you for coming.
Thank you. You said thank you. Not thanks.
So does it not, it doesn't save what you already previously had, you have to go in and manually change it?
No. I'll show you a quick trick. So instead, really quick, let me show you how to do that, Eduardo, before you start making changes to it. Go back to your previous slide. Click on the text box. And then go ahead and click at the right where you are making the changes to the font. There should be a button that says Copy Text Style or Copy Style. Go to the next slide that we were just doing. Click on the text box. And then Paste Style. So if you wanted to do exactly what you're saying, you want different slides to have the same settings, you could do it like that. That's probably the best way to do it.
Oh, paste style. Paste it to the next.
There you go. Copy and paste. It's my best friend. Cool. All right. So that's how we make slides using the edit feature of ProPresenter. So like, let's say we were making a song. We could go in slide by slide and just type out the lyrics of the song, and we'd be fine. Do you guys have any questions with Editor? No? Like I said, there's a lot to it. I'm not going to get into the whole thing right now because, again, a lot of it's just play with it on your own, have fun with it, and see what it can do. It's a bit much for me to cover right now. There's other things that are a bit more important. So, cool. So let's go ahead and move over to Reflow instead. Yeah. At this point, Eduardo and Ray, you guys go ahead and switch. Yeah. Cool. Now we're going to add new ones or new slides using Reflow instead. So really quick, if you want to change the sizing of the font there in Reflow, there is a there's a little slide button at the bottom of the screen that you can adjust the sizing of. There's one underneath the Reflow part. So right over there, the bottom. Yeah. There. So you can change that sizing.
That one.
Yeah. Cool. So and it just makes it a little bit more easy to manage as you're making edits to it. Let's go ahead and hit the button that says Insert Slide Break.
I'm sorry, where are we?
It's going to be at the bottom of the screen next to that slider. Yep. Actually, you know what? Hit Command Z real quick. Sorry, so click within the last, so click within here, and then go ahead and insert slide break. So click right there. Yeah, and then go ahead and hit insert slide break. So insert a slide break is literally inserting a new slide, blank slide, but it's going to do it after wherever the cursor is for when you're typing. So like before, you had it set on that first slide, and then it created a slide in between both of those. And then you didn't have it selected in either of those, so it didn't do anything, right? So that's basically what it does. So now you can type whatever you want into that slide, and it's going to appear differently. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, so you just made another slide. I think, like I said, Reflow is my favorite because it's simpler. But yeah.
Yeah, I see why. It's kind of like straight to the point with Reflow. It's not going through 3 other extra steps to get.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
And the cool thing with Reflow is it doesn't matter what it looks like, because if you apply a theme to it, it'll automatically adjust all of them. So you're not having to go in slide by slide and adjust the different text properties. It just kind of does it for you. So, cool. Any questions with this? Okay. This is how you would create a new presentation. You would hit the new presentation button. The shortcut for it as well is going to be Command N. Command N will make a, N as in Nancy, yeah. It will make a new presentation. Or you can go up to File and hit New Presentation, or you can go to that plus button like I showed you guys, and it'll create a new presentation.
Don't do it though.
No, don't do it right now, yeah. Cool, so let's go ahead and go back to the Show tab so we can see the slides all centered in the middle. Perfect. Cool, so now let's go ahead and we're gonna import a song from SongSelect, and then we're gonna make some changes to it. So let's go to the search button. Cool, we'll click SongSelect, and Eduardo, what's a song that we can do?
Sure.
Move?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So make sure you have songs or selected, not the library icon. So you see the little blue icon there on the, select the other one. There you go. So you see the little blue icon there? Yeah, select the other one. Do it one more time. There you go.
Oh, so this is when we don't have it in our library? Okay.
Correct. So go ahead and click Move. It should be the first one that pops up. And then as you click it, it should give you a preview of the lyrics. Make sure that that's what we're doing.
Chris McClarney.
Yep. McLaren. Import. And it should open up this one yet. What we're going to do is slide by paragraph break. We do want that. 1 delimiter per slide. The sizing should be 1920 by 1080. The theme, let's go to iMag. Like that. See online. The training. Oh, you probably don't have a training one. Yeah, let me hop on here real quick. I forgot to set it up on this one.
Go home.
All right, can you do that all over again? My bad. I'm sorry. Cool. For your library, cool. You have it set to training, and then playlist. Let's also make it training. Cool. And then when you're ready, go ahead and hit import. And then playlist also training.
It's also training, sir. Import.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
That was.
It's done. Obviously, that is not correct, right? Because that doesn't look right. So we're going to make changes to it using Reflow. So go ahead and hit the Reflow button. The shortcut for Reflow is going to be Control-R. So not Command, but Control. Yeah. Cool. And you can hit it right now. If you hit it now, it's going to take you out of Reflow.
Can we do it now?
Yeah, go ahead. There you go. And then doing it again will make you open it back up.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Like I said, shortcuts, efficiency, whatever you can do to save time, it's the best.
I just pushed the button though. Is that fine too?
Yeah, that works too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I can remember
All the shortcuts?
Control R and Control, all those.
Yeah. Cool. All right, so now that we're looking at it in Reflow, we can see all the lyrics. So now let's go ahead and separate them by how we want them to look on the screen. So we're going to do it slide by slide, or line by line, my bad. Because that's how we're going to have it on the screen. On the center screen is going to be one full line, like naturally, you know what I'm saying? And like as a singer, as a musician, you kind of know, okay, at what point is it done? You know what I mean? Like you're not going to, we don't want to put a whole line and then half a line and it stops midway and it just feels weird.
Yeah, sure.
We want to finish the phrase. So the first line should be, when you move, darkness runs for cover. So let's put our cursor at the end of that first line, and we're going to put insert slide break. Boom. You just made your very first slide for the song. So go ahead and do that for the rest of the song real quick. We're separated by all of its lines. Pop. Pop.
Hey, do we have, for ProPresenter 7, how many licenses do we have? Is it like unlimited?
I think so. That's a good question. I don't know.
I don't have Pro 6 on my laptop, but I don't have 7 on my Mac.
Do you want it? Yeah. It's as simple as downloading it from the Renewed Vision website. And then we have our registration and licensing in Dropbox.
I looked for it. Is it the same one as the Pro 6 one?
No.
It's different? I'll probably need that because I couldn't find it the other day.
Okay. It's in, should be in Weekend Elements and Miscellaneous.
Okay, I'll check.
So I'll show you a little bit later too. Are there any more plates?
I don't know, but I mean, there's 3 pieces in there, just all yours. Yeah, I have to go back to my house and grab something.
Oh, you're still going.
So we can still go.
Jesus,
You doing anything right now?
I'm gonna go talk to my mom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Baby, talking to your mom.
What's wrong with talking to your mom, man?
Nothing. Eduardo, oh.
Sorry, there's nothing wrong talking with your mom. Ah. Sorry, Jared. Sorry, Jared. don't put that in the video.
I've got the audio. Off camera recording now.
Gosh.
y'all are, wow.
Not me, you. Cool.
On a disregard, okay?
Oh yeah, I'm not even.
She can't hear me.
Nope.
Something to look forward to.
But yeah, that's when having another girl.
So you're grounded or what?
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Well, come sit down.
Okay.
Come watch. It's good to know. You missed part of it, but it's all right.
What was that?
On chorus. Oh yeah, it does say chorus on there too. Okay. Is that the whole song?
Yeah, it's pretty short. I'm going to show you guys how to add groupings and arrangements right now really quick. Cool. So you guys have them all separated by lines?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Let's go ahead and get out of Reflow Editor.
Reflow editor.
Yeah, so we'll go back to show. No? It happens.
I said, where's the pastor? It's not in the lobby, it's in the parent viewing room. No, but I don't know, they're all up. Yeah, but it's only coming out of the parent.
Okay. Cool. So now that we've gotten that, let's go ahead and adjust our groupings and then arrangements. Cool. So the way we're going to do that is verse 1 should be, I mean, they're probably all set pretty standard right now, but I'm going to show you how to do it anyway. So let's go to verse 1. We're going to right click it and we're going to go to groups. In groups, you should see a bunch of different labels for like sequences of a song. Let's go ahead and select verse 1.
It's a long song, dog.
Cool. It's already set to verse 1, but the reason why we want to do this is sometimes we'll import songs from SongSelect and they won't have the arrangements that we need, or they won't be set like appropriately. So we need to go in and make the arrangement ourselves and group the song accordingly for what we do in Planning Center, what we're doing for the weekend. So we'll go ahead and do that for the rest of the song. So we got verse 1. Let's go through verse 2 and the chorus and bridge and all that stuff. And it'll be the same thing. So
these first 4 is all verse 1 though. When you move, I'm gonna turn away because you're free. And then this is chorus.
yes.
So don't change. So change all these up top to verse 1.
No. So you just want that controls the grouping after it
Okay.
until the next slide with the next group label.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
So you see how all of these don't have one?
Right.
All of these are then by default going to this.
That one.
And then this one changes it. So then all the ones that follow this are to that until the next one.
Oh.
Kind of thing.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And go ahead, even though it's labeled already, go ahead and redo it right now for the sake of practicing it. So where it says chorus, make it chorus again. Where it says verse 2, make it verse 2 again. Bridge, make it bridge.
And we do,
For the, really quick, for your bridge, it doesn't look right.
yeah, King of all generations.
Can you go to your reflow again? Scroll down on your reflow. So on the left side more.
Yeah, King of all generations.
There it is, yeah. Yeah, so go ahead and separate those with like the line breaks
Okay.
or the slide breaks, whatever they're called.
I think I got it, bro.
Was I out there after all or no?
I don't think so.
You're coming through the PV.
Okay,
Even if you were, it's a
You got it?
harmless joke.
it was a harmless
If you
joke.
tell him it was towards that, nobody's gonna care.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Yo, mama joke.
So this is verse 1. This is chorus 1. This is verse 2. This is the bridge.
yeah.
You know what else to do?
Cool. Really quick, change chorus and bridge to actually chorus and bridge, not chorus 1, not bridge 1.
Got
Yeah. For myself, when it's the same chorus throughout the whole song, I'm just gonna leave it labeled chorus. Yeah. Full choruses, some songs do, they have versions or different words. That's when I'll come in and I'll be like, okay, this one's gonna be chorus 1, this will be chorus 2. Helps specify a little bit more.
Yeah, we need that though, especially this church. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a lot going on. Specification is
Key.
I understand.
Isn't though this supposed to be all together, or should it be? Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Dang, Ray said he sucked at drums.
One thing to notice too, both of you guys, pull up Reflow really quick for the bridge. This is the other reason why we review songs in Reflow or whatever before we do it. Look at that one song or that one line where it says, "Let every tongue and nation." For some reason, SongSelect likes to spell things with this apostrophe because it's like the syncopation of how you'd sing it versus how it's actually spelled. So, like when you're singing it, it would be "let every," which is how it would be. But that's not how we spell it. Yeah, you want to spell it correctly.
I changed it.
Okay, cool.
I went and changed it.
Yeah.
Is there a certain save we press after we change something?
No, it automatically saves it. Yeah, it like overwrites whatever it was before. Cool. Cool.
Man.
Sweet. You guys got the, did you do all the, I know you did all the groupings. Anna, did you do all the groupings already too?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool. Really quick, change chorus 1 to be chorus.
Ooh, yes, I did. Yes,
Jesus. Oh.
Cool. And then now we're going to be adding 4 empty slides. So go ahead and just go out of Reflow. Back to the show. Perfect. Click into the gray so you don't have a slide selected. Yeah. Just like into the gray where the slides are, yeah. And then go ahead and hit Command, Shift.
Sit into the gray.
Yeah, right there.
Slide select.
Yeah, just do it. Well, it's selected because it's live, but it's not selected in blue. Hit Command, Shift, N, and that will give you a new slide.
Shift in. Command
Command Shift N.
And you wanted 4?
4. Cool. So the other way to add a new slide is going to be at the plus button at the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, right there. And then it'll be new slide. Yeah, so go ahead and add 2 more of those, Ray.
2 on top of 2 I got.
Yeah. We want 4 empty slides.
I don't see the new.
Oh, go to ProPresenter real quick. I think you went to notes. There you go.
Oh, okay. How do I do that? I don't have no idea how to do that.
To do it.
What you gave another way to add a screen was, what was it?
Oh, to add a slide?
Yeah.
It's just the plus button
Okay.
right there.
And I thought I did that, but I must have hit this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm like, how did I do that? Okay, so then you add a new slide. Got it. Okay, but I already have it.
Yep. Cool. So for that first empty slide, let's go ahead and make the group intro. Yeah, so you'll do the right click and group.
Oh, intro. I'm sure.
Slides are going to be our intro sequence, so we don't want to do anything with the second one. We'll skip to the third empty slide. So go ahead and make yours, that third one, interlude, and then the last one out. And then for you, Anna, so that first empty, oh, you did the first empty one. Look at that. Never mind. You're good. You're good. That one will make interlude, and then the last one, outro. Perfect. Cool. We have just made all the different elements and sequences for the song. Now we're going to make an arrangement. And then this will make it easier for us to make adjustments on the fly later on as well. So really quick, let's have you guys switch again.
You want to switch me?
Yeah, let's do that actually.
So I'm just hogging the whole.
Anna's like, I want a break. Gosh.
This is my training for me.
Cool.
Who's doing ProPresenter for Christmas? That's
Probably me.
You?
Yeah, probably me and Jared.
Oh, you're not performing?
Probably not. No. I don't get asked to do special things anymore. Me too, man.
It's
This turn off?
the
Oh, I think.
command to
Probably not.
control command N.
What was that?
To add a new slide, control command N.
Command Shift.
Command shift N.
Yes.
What we've been waiting for.
Cool. All right, so let's go ahead and do arrangements now. So at the right, top right, there's this little icon right here with the 3 squares and that right there.
Oh, this one?
Yeah. That's going to be our arrangement manager. So it's going to be right here. So sorry, that one right there with the 3 squares. Yeah. Arrangements. Cool. So we're going to make an arrangement really quick. Go ahead to that drop-down menu where it says Master. And we're going to do New Arrangement. Let's go ahead and title it Default.
DEFAULT.
Oh, you're doing it for him.
Sorry.
Wonderful. So all these different groupings that we had, that you see up at that arrangement, those are the ones that we just made. So, and that's why it's important to do that, because now when we make an arrangement, it's accurate. It's not gonna, when we grab a grouping from there and pull it into an arrangement, it's not gonna pull random slides, it's gonna pull what you just said. So for default, let's go ahead and delete all those blue ones. So you see the little blue bubbles with all the different arrangement names in them? Go ahead and hit the X button on all of them. And we're gonna start from scratch. All right, so what does every song start with? Intro. There we go. Yeah. Cool. So we're gonna click and drag the intro into where that space was, right there. Boom.
Boom.
What comes after the intro?
First one.
Verse 1. Let's go and do verse 1.
Do an air voice. First one.
2, 3, 4. Cool. How does the song go? What's the last slide of verse 1? And
And where your heart.
no hearts left unchanged.
Jesus, oh, and then it goes.
Yeah.
So come.
So let's just go into chorus from there. We're not going to add it. Sometimes if there's a pause between lines, I'll throw an interlude slide there just to create some spacing, but we don't really need to right now. Cool. So we added a chorus. How many choruses did we do at that point in Move for the default version?
That's the first one. Right there.
Is it just one chorus that we do right there, or is it just, okay, cool. So after the chorus, let's do verse 2. There's not really an interlude right there.
It might repeat the verse, the chorus.
That's what I was thinking.
I think it repeats the chorus, brother.
Hey, Mr. Music Man.
I think it was.
For Move, is it 2 choruses at the beginning or just 1?
I think he repeats it, right?
I think it's just 1, huh?
Pretty sure it's just one down chorus.
Yeah. And then it goes into verse 2.
It's been so long.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. All right, so then we'll go verse 2. And then after verse 2, fear turns into praises. No.
Yeah, that's it.
No hearts left unchanged. Oh. And then we'll go back into the chorus. Nice. And then let's do,
I think this is when it repeats the chorus.
it does repeat the chorus there. So, what's up, Andy? Hi. Are you here for some ProPresenter stuff a little bit or no? Just watch. Gotcha.
There she is. Right.
Cool. So double chorus. Let's do an interlude now. And then it's going to go into that bridge. And how many bridges is it? I think it's 2. I think it's just 2. Yeah.
It's 2.
So 2 bridges. We'll do an interlude. It's like a little musical break right there. And then it goes back into the chorus. And I believe it does 2 choruses, a down chorus and then a big one.
2 choruses.
Mm-hmm.
2 choruses.
2 choruses. And then we'll go into 2 bridges. And we're going to do the shortened version where it doesn't go into like the down chorus and all that stuff. So we'll just do 2 bridges. It'll end there. And then what does every song end with?
Outro.
Outro. Boom.
So after the bridge, outro. After the second bridge, outro.
There we go.
Okay.
So now, let me look at it real quick. Intro, verse, chorus, verse 2, chorus, chorus, interlude, chorus, bridge, outro. Nice. And I'm assuming it's the same, and if it's not, then okay. Cool. So we just made the default arrangement for Move. That's how we make a song for the weekend. Super simple, easy, and now that you've done it like this and you've done the appropriate steps to set it up correctly, if we need to make a new arrangement, all you have to do is go to the drop-down menu for where the arrangement was, default. Go ahead and hit New Arrangement. You can, let's say this is the Funky Fresh arrangement. I don't know. And for this, now, because we set it up with the groupings, we can literally make it whatever we want, and it's as simple as clicking and dragging those different groupings rather than going in and having to type out the slides or copy and paste them or wherever.
And then it just always saves that original one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So if you ever go back to that drop-down menu where we just made the Funky Fresh one, you can go back to your old arrangements that you've made and pull up previous ones as well, which also then makes it a lot quicker for when you're making it for a weekend. And so that's why I'm saying, like, when I do stuff for young adults, it's not that hard, or even for the weekend, it's not that long, because I'm using what we've done in the past and making quick tweaks to it. It's not starting from scratch every time, because if it started from scratch every single time, it would take a lot of time. But it's just like plug and play. Cool.
Yeah, I thought I added something. Oh, it's just, I forgot we added all these.
Yeah.
That's so cool, bro.
Yeah, man.
So like where it says new arrangements and all this, these 2 are pretty much like files or documents.
Yeah, so they're
Okay.
the Move, this right here, that's the document. That's the presentation.
That's the document.
So those versions of it, the arrangements,
Okay.
are just different versions of it, but they're all the same thing. Like they're all going to be compiled into the same document.
Which is that move right here.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
So let's say you deleted that presentation, you would lose those arrangements.
In that document. And I have to go in the document and start it over again.
You'd have to start it from scratch. Yeah.
New arrangement. That makes
Well, not even a new arrangement. If you delete the document or that presentation, you have to redo move. So you have to go in, you have to make the new groupings again. You have to retype that every. And that's why like it's important sometimes to make sure that you don't delete stuff on ProPresenter unless it's cleared by a producer. So for instance, like this weekend, I kind of shot myself in the foot. I like to, whenever we start a new series, I like to start fresh and clean as far as the media, because the way ProPresenter works, when you input media, so like a video or a picture or whatever, it makes a copy of it and saves it into its own file. That way, if you ever need to access it again, you can pull it straight from there. It's like a really weird thing. It's cool, but it takes up a lot of space on your computer. So I cleared it all to make it fresh, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna start clean for this new series, and it'll be good. And then as I was inputting stuff, I was like, now I have to redo all these other things that I just set up to make myself like more efficient. So then I had to go back and redo those things. That's why we try not to delete things, because I'm like, okay, I could have. How much time did I have to make it?
Yeah.
I had a good amount of time. It was on a Saturday.
Oh,
So
okay.
it didn't take me a whole lot of time because I already knew what I wanted to do. But oh yeah, it could have been a fraction of the time to have done it. So you'll learn.
That sucks.
But yeah, so we try not to delete stuff. You can delete a playlist. You don't need to keep a playlist. You don't want to delete a library. Don't do that. But like you see under playlist on the top left, that blue, and it says playlist. It has one that says training. We could delete that one that says training, and we'll be fine. It won't delete anything that we need, but it will delete that. A playlist is basically like, it's just a compilation of for what we want to use for the weekend. So each week, what I'll do, I will make a playlist. I will title the date. It's going to be November 15th. So it'll be weekend November 15th. In that playlist, we'll throw all the songs. I will throw in those service elements. And then when I'm finished with that and it's done, I will export that playlist to Dropbox, and then I'll be able to sync it from there.
Okay.
And like just import it. But once I export the playlist, I can import it to any ProPresenter 7 setup, and it will automatically like download everything because it's all one saved file. But we don't have to get into that. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Any questions? No. Cool. It's about, what is it, like 110 right now?
It's 110.
Look at that. So we're gonna go ahead and stop because, yeah. But you guys did a good job today. Good job.
Thank you.
Um,
Great job explaining, 'cause
Can
this
we
makes
keep
so much
like
more sense.
practicing? Just
Yeah.
so it won't get like, how do you do that again? How do you know, it'd just be automatic for us?
Yeah. If you want to practice, this computer is always available. It is a little bit different because it's a PC, not a Mac, but it's not crazy. It's going to be like the shortcuts. So any of the shortcuts that I showed you today, they might be a little bit different here, but finding it on the window, it looks the exact same way.
So it still has a little plus on the bottom to add a slide and, what was it? Oh, to add a new presentation. Versus doing the command in.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Can you
You for some notes.
$10?
Cool. Yeah. I don't know who's doing young adults this week. Do you guys know?
Maxwell Swanson.
Max is okay. Max will probably take care of. Is he taking? He did it last week.
He did last week? Oh, that's right, because we had to do videos last week.
Yeah. You guys did videos last week?
Yeah, because we were all out.
That's right.
Yeah, we couldn't be here.
I would have just skipped worship.
Oh no, we skipped worship.
Said he was gonna do videos.
No, we didn't do. I was there. They did worship.
Oh, okay, good.
It was just me on the stage.
Cool.
I wasn't happy.
Yeah, I was like, don't.
I'm not gonna do that.
Worship videos can work for some things, but it would not work for young adults. So, no, everyone's gonna be standing there awkward and start making jokes.
Tomorrow's game. Yeah.
Cycling back.
Tomorrow's game?
Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
I'm coming.
No?
Am I on?
Well, I'm at work, so.
Cool. Who?
No, I'm not.
You're leaving soon for work, you said? Okay.
Me and Isaiah usually leave around this time to go to work.
Okay, cool.
You need us to help you like pack up or something?
No, I got it. I would like one of you guys to take on young adults this week. I'll work with you on it, but I would very much like you to practice it and then just do it. Or like ProPresenter, I mean, like setting up ProPresenter for it. Because like I said, it's not hard. It'll be a little bit time consuming because it'll be your first time, but I know you got to go. So I won't have you do it. Or Anna and Eduardo, Eduardo, I think it's going to be you. Because you're going to be at young adults, huh? Maybe, probably, I don't know. Are you playing for it or no? No?
That's even better, bro. It's a great practice.
I didn't say it wasn't.
You and I can work on it. I can help you, but I'm not
I'm still kind of slow at it.
That'll work.
yeah, we can still both.
Yeah. We can figure out what the songs are. Maybe you guys can split them.
Did Gabe put him in?
Right on.
Yeah.
We're in Paradise Valley today.
Ooh,
That's Scottsdale, put it back.
that's fun. Dang. Get some Evian water.
Yeah. It's got the minerals in it, bro.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, let's pray out real quick, and then we'll call it. Thank you, guys. Next week we will kind of pick up where we left off, and we will dive a little bit deeper. If you're able to, try to watch the rest of those tutorial videos by next week. Rewatch them too if something's confusing to you. Feel free to ask me questions in the meantime too. Like we don't have to wait till next Tuesday is going to be our session like this, but you can ask me questions in the meantime because I could just take you up there or just show you on my laptop and we can talk through it. Cool. All right, let's pray real quick and then we'll close out. Father, thank you for this time. Again, Lord, our mission and our goal right now is not to do things perfectly or excellently for any means of our own, except to glorify you. Father, the work that we do right now is our worship to you. We know that it'll be used to, Lord, when we display the words for people for when they're singing and worshiping, we're able to provide them a service in the truth that they're singing. They can see the words that they're singing and declare it because they understand it. Lord, help us to steward that responsibility well, that we would do it excellently, and that we would learn it well too, Lord, because this is our craft, and we want to do it well and effectively and efficiently, Lord, to honor you, but also to serve your people well. That's our heart in this. It's not, again, not to build up ourselves, except for the purpose of serving you. We love you, Lord. Bless us as we continue to learn, as we get more knowledge in this, and keep us all humble so that we can be hungry for more. We love you, Lord, and it's in your name that we pray. Amen. Cool. Thanks, y'all.